meet everybody. We are
Hey everybody, glad
Hey,
to have you
Andy.
here, or glad to be here rather.
so
Welcome.
I met Andy real quickly. I met Andy through a good friend of mine named Chris Shaw, who said, "You've got to talk to this guy. He's super good. He's been helping me with my business." And I'm like, "Oh, ding, ding, ding. Like, I want to know who that is." And once that we got together and got a chance to know what he does and understand what it is, I was like, holy crap, I want this in front of my team. He's big up in Virginia, but I want him in front of all y'all, and we're from all over the place. So I'm turning it over to Mr. Andy Fulghum, owner of 212.
Awesome. Well, again, glad to be here. And I'll tell you a quick story just to give you a little background on myself. I started my business, Atlantic Logo Wear, in '99. And back then, maybe some of you can relate to this. I did a lot of what I consider to be a lot of advertising, traditional advertising. We did newspaper, magazine, radio, TV, a little bit of that. Horrible results, just horrible results. I felt I spent a lot of money for no reason. So at that time, there was a gentleman, maybe some of you guys have heard of him, Jim Roman, who brought B&I to this area in Richmond, Virginia, is where I'm from. And so I said, I'll go ahead and start one of those. So I started my first B&I chapter. And it was all good. And in the first year, until 2000, I grew it to about 36 members, and everybody's making a bunch of money. It was all good. B&I came to me and said, "Hey, we'd like you to become what is called an area director," which you guys are probably familiar with that. So I said, "Sure." So I took that role, and I did that for 14 years. And long about 2012, 2013, that area, we started hemorrhaging members. And here's the thing. You guys might be able to relate to this, but when you meet these people every week for years, they become like family. I mean, they become like, good, close friends. So it stinks to see one leave. And we just were hemorrhaging these members. We went from 970 members here in Richmond, down in less than 1 year, by the way, down to 470 some members in less than 1 year. So in my mind, I was like, that's a fundamental issue. Something's going on, bigger than just this or that. So anyway, long story short, I was frustrated and I punched out, and I said, I'm gonna do this myself. So I started 212 Referral Network in 2015, and put a few components in this that I'll speak about here shortly, just to let you know what's the differences in 212. And it just worked out so well that we had people going, "Well, I want to start one, and I want to start one." And that's how 212 started. So that being said, I'll just tell you some of the differentiating points in 212. And to give you a little further background, prior to this, I lived in Dallas. I was born and raised here in Richmond, Virginia, but I did work in Dallas for about 15 years. And at that time, in the 80s, dating myself, obviously, there was a few other networking organizations around. You might have heard of LATIP. Anyone heard of LATIP? Okay. I was a member of LATIP, was an area mentor and area director for them. And then also, Allie Lasson's. Anyone heard of Allie Lasson? They were in the Midwest in the mid 80s. No, another referral organization I was a member of. So just the whole point is I've been a part of a referral organization for all my professional career. And that's how I built my business entirely, from referrals. Realtors tend to understand this point, especially. But anyway, some of the differences in 212. Gratitude is a big deal in 212. And I guess before I talk about gratitude, I should tell you, why are we called 212? I get that question a lot. Why do you call yourself 212 Referral Network? Water at 211 degrees is extremely hot water. However, what happens when you just add one more degree to that water? 212. It boils, obviously, and turns to steam. Steam drives a locomotive. Steam drives industry. So everything we do in 212 has just this much more punch. So keep that in mind in some of the different aspects that I'm going to be talking about. First of all, gratitude, like I said earlier, is a big deal in 212. And here's why. Quick story. As an area mentor, or rather area director in B&I for as many years as I was, we were required to visit and impact these chapters at least once every 4 to 6 weeks. So I go into this one chapter, and And I'll never forget, this one gentleman was very specific in who he was trying to target, which is very good, by the way. Being specific is good. He said, I'm looking to meet Sam Smith at ABC Company. And I said, whoa, good friend of mine. Be happy to introduce you to Sam. So I did that. Didn't think much of it. I made that connection, went on about my way. Well, another 4 to 6 weeks goes by, and I have to revisit this chapter again. So I do. We go into this chapter. I go into this chapter rather. We go through the meeting, and of course, at the end of the meeting, everyone stands, and we're walking out towards the door. This same gentleman that I gave a referral to, I'll never forget it. He slapped me on the shoulder. Hey, that referral you gave me last month, $35,000. Thanks. And out the door he went. I was floored by that, and here's why. If somebody gives me a piece of business, any piece of business, by the way, but especially one that generated $35,000 in his pocket, I'm grateful. I'm genuinely grateful. I can do wonderful things with my family with $35,000. So I'm genuinely grateful. And I'll back up and say this. Had he pulled me aside a little more heartfelt and said, hey, listen, Andy, that referral you gave me last month, man, that was $35,000. Thank you. Thank you so much. That would have been just fine. But this, thanks, out the door. I'm never sending this person another referral as long as I live. He just did not thank me properly. So it's a human nature thing. So gratitude is a big major focus in 212. As such, we have two components sort of built into this model that are very unique. We call them gratitude incentives, or GIs. The first GI is what we call a corporate GI. It's simply this. If you are a member of 212 and you bring in another member, or use the term sponsor, if you sponsor in a new member, the corporation sends you this wonderful thank you letter in the mail. And included in that, enclosed in that, I should say, is what we call a tangible expression of gratitude. It is a check for $100. I will tell you what it is not. You are never going to get rich on this, I promise. It just will not happen. However, you will know that you are genuinely appreciated for the business that you generated. So that is the corporate gratitude incentive. Now, there is a caveat to the corporate gratitude incentive, and it's this. We call it a 3 in 30 bonus. Any member of 212 that is successful in bringing in 3 new members in any 30-day period, ongoing and forever, they are also going to receive the 3 in 30 bonus, which is a separate check for $250. Now, here's why we do this. 2 reasons. Number one, we want to encourage fast growth. In our 212 teams, they grow very fast. People like this incentive. It's a good thing. But here's the other side of it. What if you've got somebody on your team, we call them teams, not chapters. What if you've got somebody on your team that really enjoys this incentive, which obviously we have a lot of people that do. Your team goes 3, 3, 3, 3. You see what I'm saying? So that fast growth is important. However, what it's really designed for principally is that we've knocked down the barrier of entry. It is $495 to be a member of 212. Right? So, but when you have somebody that gets 3 in 30, 3 members in 30 days, that's 100, 200, 300 for those 3 individuals, plus the 250, that is $550. They have gotten back all of their membership investment. And of course, everything else is just what we're here for, is the referrals, obviously. But we have found that that is a very, very good point in 212. In fact, we have so many people in 212 that this is now a second revenue sharing piece of business. So, I mean, like I said, you're never going to get rich, but $550 is nice when you get that again and again and again. So that is the corporate gratitude incentive in a nutshell there. We also have what is called the member to member gratitude incentive. Now, the attorneys for 212 said this must be voluntary, and it is. It's very clearly voluntary, but we highly encourage it. And it's simply this. If somebody gives you a piece of business, right? Are you okay to write them a handwritten thank you note? That is a tangible expression of gratitude. You will find in 212, most people do something a little small, like they'll take you to lunch to say thank you, drinks after work to say thank you. I had a lady a few weeks ago, she baked brownies to say thank you to me. Awesome. Perfect. Perfect. So, and what all this does really, what we've seen overwhelmingly is that what is rewarded is repeated. And that's what we do in 212. We intentionally give people introductions in business, of course, and then it comes back to us because we're very grateful for that business. All of this contributes to the culture of 212, and you'll hear me say this a lot. The culture of 212 is warm, friendly, professional, honest, all of those things. So it really is a unique culture. Any questions? And stop me at any point if somebody has questions. I'm happy to answer them, but I'm going to continue on. 212
Kathy,
is
hang
simple.
on, Kathy, you're muted. Unmute. There you go, darling.
$495 is per year, correct?
That is correct.
Okay.
Per year. And the renewal, and the 212 is run by a committee, what we call the governing committee, right? And here's the thing, everything with 212 is designed to be super simple. We think that life is complicated enough. Simple is good. So everything we do in 212 is designed to be super, super simple. 212 is run by a script. The most powerful teams in 212, and when I say the most powerful teams, I mean the ones that generate the most revenue for the members. The most powerful in teams, and this is the script right here. You can't see it, but they just read it. You might have a joke in between segments or cut up a little bit, but it's simple. Just read it. That's all you need to do. Our meetings are 55 minutes or less. If you're familiar with some of the other referral organizations, it's nearly 2 hours. And these days, who's got 2 hours? It's just too much of a time commitment. So our agenda is packed. It is very concise and efficient. So we get through our meetings in 55 minutes or less and have people on their way. 212 members especially really appreciate this. Let's see here. One of the biggest concepts, and we have several concepts that we practice, but one of the biggest one is what we call referral manufacturing. All right, let me explain how referral manufacturing takes place. When you become a member of 212, of course, you're giving this package. Within this package, there are a few things. One of them is this. It's a business card holder that you can see, and it just says, I don't know if you can see it, but there it is. Local professionals that I trust. There's no 212 logo on this. We don't want our customers or the people that we show this to get confused. It just says local professionals that I trust. Okay. Here's how I use this. Quick little story again, not to story you to death, but it was probably last year around this time. I was sitting down with a client. Her name was Sherry, and she's a marketing director who I call on quite a bit. So we're having this conversation about marketing. Right. And I felt at some point, of course, that our conversation was about tapering down, coming to an end. And I use this almost as an afterthought, but I said, and she's been a client for a while, I said, Sherry, do me a favor. And I passed this business card over to her and I said, take a look at this. This is a collection of top-notch local professionals. If you need any of these people, just let me know. Folks, I have done this literally thousands of times, and I have never, not one time, have anyone push the book back to me and say, no, thank you. They just don't do that. They say, yeah, let me see that. And of course, so Sherry grabs it and she starts rifling through this and she goes, do these people sell carpet? And I said, well, yes, these people, they certainly do. Well, have them contact me. My husband and I are talking about recarpeting our home. I said, wonderful. This was a $7,000 carpet sale for my carpet friend who was very, very happy with me, obviously. But that's not the bigger picture. The bigger picture is, had I not taken this into my appointment, tried to make myself more valuable, right? And this is a key point. We all like to make ourselves more valuable. We need to differentiate ourselves from our competitors, right? And why should somebody use this person or use you over the other person? Over the years, what I have found is so powerful is to differentiate myself in this way. I am connected to a large group of professionals that, by the way, have signed an agreement promising to deliver the highest level of service to the referrals that I give them. So when we get this in front of our clients, our friends, or whoever it is, you're actually doing them a tremendous favor because these people have promised to operate with the highest business ethics. So anyway, I take this on every single appointment, and I make this available intentionally, and you'll hear me use that word a lot. We're very intentional about manufacturing opportunities for our teammates. So anyway, referral manufacturing is probably one of the greatest things that we focus on, and it has been tremendous for adding new clients. Can you imagine if you've got a team of 20 people, let's say you've got a team of 20, and all of us have appointments every day. I usually have at least 2 or 3 appointments a day. and let's just say two, you've got a team of 20 people, you've got 2 appointments a day times 5 days a week. That is 200 appointments where people are getting this book in front of their clients going, oh, Gina's who you need to use for this. You understand what I'm saying? It's just incredibly, incredibly powerful. Now, all teams are given a digital version of this also. Each team has a team website. The best way that we encourage people to market their team website is by including their team's link in their email signature line, just as Gina has done with this Zoom link. Now, not everybody is going to click that link, but here's the thing. Some will, and some have, and some will always do that. Curiosity is a very powerful sentiment. So another quick story related to this is about 6 months ago. So we had a family function, and my wife says, well, invite Chris, my brother-in-law. Be sure and invite Chris. Tell him to be here by 7:30. So I craft an email, send it off to my brother-in-law, Chris. Boom, be there at 7:30. 5 minutes go by and my phone rings. Listen, hey, yeah, I'll be there at 7:30 and blah, blah, blah. Hey, listen, I saw that link in your email. I clicked on that. I saw that realtor, is she any good? I said, well, yes, she's very, very good. Well, a good buddy of mine, unfortunately, they're going through a divorce and they need to sell their house. So I need a good realtor. So I said, yes, absolutely. The realtor on my team sold not only the home that they jointly held, but also sold the woman another home. 2 home sales from an email I sent my brother-in-law. I just call that stupid money, stupid money. So my point is again, if you've got a whole team of people, 20, 25 people that all include this in their email signature line, I send over 100 emails a day, probably just like you folks do, to my clients, to my friends, to my prospects. Not everybody's going to click it, but some will. I promise you, some will. So it's just another fantastic tool that 212 offers. 212 is what I also call very guest-centric, right? Here's what I mean by this. You will do business with your teammates, absolutely. And you're going to do business with the people they introduce you to, no question. You will be stunned at how much business you write from the guests. Absolutely, just stunning. So we are very guest-centric. Myself, for example, I send, before my meeting the week prior, I send about 40 to 50 email invitations. I'm an email guy, so I craft one beautiful email and said, it says, hey, Bob, you're invited. Bob, I'm part of a business referral organization we're called 212. We meet every Tuesday from 8 to 9 o'clock over at XYZ. I would love to introduce you around. Can you make it? That's basically the email. And of course, I send that first email, then I go into my sent mail and pull it back and send that about 40 to 50 more times. I will always have 2, 3, 4 guests every single week. That's just, I got to have at least a few show up. But can you imagine if you had a team of 20 and each of your members brought just one guest, just one, and you've got 20 guests? Being guest-centric is part of the 212 culture as well. So you will be just stunned at how much business you will write from the guests. It's just absolutely amazing. 212 members sign a covenant. This is a 212 application. I don't know if you can see it, but on the back is what's really important. This is a list of 12 bullets that people must agree to. Here's the thing. In my opinion, most people don't read it. Okay, here's what I recommend. When, because I've seen them during a meeting, they get excited and they start filling out this application. They turn it into the governing committee and they think they're in, right? No, they've applied. 212 is not for everybody. And number one, I think you need to be careful who you let on to your 212 team. They need to be like-minded. They need to be committed. They need to be exemplary professionals, right? It is not for everyone. I just want to make that really clear. It'll save you headaches down the road, I promise. At any rate, this covenant we take very seriously. If people are out of line in the covenant, they can be asked to leave. Plain and simple. We don't have too much of a problem with that because people do comply with this. But let me go on to the next one here. I call this the choreography of 212. Here it is in a nutshell, and I need you just to use your imaginations for a little bit. 212 governing committees, they arrive to the meeting a little bit early and set up, right? It is so important that when your guests show up, that they see structure. They walk into this room and they can see everything's is laid out and very, very structured. We have a guest sign-in area. Some people say, why do you need a guest sign-in area? It demonstrates structure from the get-go. It lets our guests know from the start that we are serious and we are structured. So we have our guests sign in. We have maybe some sticky name badges there, optional if you like a sticky name badge. Then, of course, we escort them over. We shake their hands. We warmly greet them, of course. And we try to introduce them to somebody who we think might be an excellent referral source for them. Okay. Now the meeting starts, right? So everyone sits down. We go through this very, very efficient script, hitting all the points. At the end of the meeting, of course, everyone leaves. Here's the thing. They go back, it's part of 212 culture also. The guests go back to their office, and what do they have? They open their laptop or get on their desktop. 16 emails from all the different members on the team going, John, thank you for coming to our meeting. We sure enjoyed you being there. We hope that you'll consider joining us, right? They got 16 emails or however many is in the group that send them a thanks for attending type of email. 2 days later, what do they get? A thank you card in the mail. I know that sounds like a little thing. Let me tell you, not a little thing. It demonstrates professionalism at every single level, and friendliness, by the way, friendliness and professionalism on down the line. So how do you think these people are feeling right now? You know what I'm saying? We do highly encourage people to visit other teams. We'll have some people that, especially realtors and mortgage people and insurance folks and financial folks that say, well, all teams have that class vacancy, so I can't visit those teams. Not true. A different culture in 212. We encourage members to visit all teams whenever possible. We only ask that you do it in the right way. If you visit a team that has a realtor, they all do, obviously. You're welcome to introduce yourself, tell the folks what you do, but refrain from asking for referrals out of respect for that seated team member. Now, here's what I do, and I teach this all the time, but when I visit a team that has my competitor, I want to disarm them completely as soon as possible. So I introduce myself. My name's Andy Fulghum. My company's Atlantic Logo Wear. And out of respect for my competitor, John over here, of course, I'm not going to ask for referrals. In fact, I've heard nothing but the best things about John and his company. I lift my competitors up, lift them up. Now, how's my competitor feeling about me at that point? Pretty good. How are the guests feeling about me at that point? Wow, there's a guy with integrity. Wow. Am I holding, by the way, those guests' business cards? Yes, I am. You can bet I'm going to get a cup of coffee with each one of them at some point. And here's the thing. These are guests. They have made no commitment to the team. They are simply guests. So this is a cultural thing in 212 also. We encourage people. You know how some people, you would say, hey, what's my competitor? Why is my competitor here? And they start to get their feathers ruffled. That is never an issue in 212. We are secure with the relationships we have on our team, and we're secure in not asking for referrals and showing respect to our competitors. So it's a big deal in 212 as well. 212 has lots of what we call area mentors. These are people that are compensated by 212, well trained by 212, that share best practices and try to do whatever they can do to help teams get off the ground and maintain the integrity that we do. Let's see. To start a 212 team, very simple. Once again, there are 3 people that start a 212 team: the chairperson, the vice chair, and the team administrator. All 3 of these positions are, again, very simple. The chairperson simply facilitates the script. Very simple. The vice chair needs to be able to do that in case the chairperson cannot. And of course, the team administrator just keeps track of the referrals that come in, and of course, the result of those referrals, meaning the dollars. And each week they have a small speaking spot in the script that says something like this: last week we passed 7 referrals, resulting in $3,900 worth of business. Year to date, we have passed 161 referrals, resulting in $1.6 million worth of business. So that's how the team administrator works. All teams also have another position that is called the Team Marketing Specialist, or TMS. Team Marketing Specialist is also a comped position. And I should back up and say this: governing committee members, meaning the chairperson, vice chair, and team administrator, and the team marketing specialist, are comped positions. The only thing that they are financially responsible for is the $35 application fee.
Wait
So
one second
that's
there. Hold off 1 second there. So if I start a group, I pay $35 application fee and that's all I pay.
that's correct.
And I still can get the bonuses for everybody else that joins, the members and the,
Absolutely.
okay, keep on going.
Sure. So those are the compensated positions in 212. Here's the thing: all new teams also receive an incentive. We figure, why would this 3-member team want to? Why would somebody want to join a 3-member team when they can join a 26-member team down the street? The first 3 people that decide to join your team, your brand new team, they're going to receive 2 years for the price of 1 year. You will find that those first 3 seats, your first meeting, boom, 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 they're gone. So strategically, I would say this: there are 3 members on the governing committee. I think it's a good idea that you give each one of those governing committee members one of those incentivized seats to offer to their best referral source. As it relates to a realtor, maybe a divorce attorney. I mean, awesome to have in any team for a realtor, obviously. But then you've got 7 people now starting your team. You've got your 3 incentivized seats and your 4 cabinet positions, for lack of a better word. You've got 7 people. Now, if you've got 7 people that are all inviting 20, 30, 40 people each week, right? You are going to have a crowd at your meeting. You are going to have the energy level unbelievable. In fact, I encourage you that if at any point you can, you're in Virginia and you want to check out a team, you will experience an energy level like you've never experienced before in any kind of a referral organization. People are excited to be there, and it's a big plus. Let's see what we've got here.
I do have a question when you've got a time for it too, and then.
Sure. What kind of questions do we have so far?
Kathy, you want to go?
Yeah, but I'm gonna start with something else. I'm a little bit confused. After what you just said, you said that you needed 3 people to start the team, and then you immediately went into those positions of chair, vice, team admin, and team marketing person as an extra. And then you said that there were 7 people that started the team.
Remember when I said the 3 incentivized seats?
Yeah.
Now you got your chairperson, vice chair, team administrator, and team marketing specialist. Those are your 4 cabinet positions. And then your team has 3 incentivized seats to give away. So those are the first 3 people are going to receive 2 years for the price of 1 year. So in total, you've got your 4 cabinet positions plus your 3 incentivized seats. You have 7 members starting your team.
Okay, so you've got the 3 people that start the position that agree to hold those posts, those
Correct.
3 posts. And then you're gonna get those 3 at a price of 2 for 1. And then as a team bonus, you've got 3 comp years to give away to new members that are joining the team. Is that right?
You're phrasing it a little differently. I'll just say it one more time, just to make. I want you to be super clear. But it takes 3 people to start a 212 team. 3 people: the chairperson, vice chair, and team administrator. They are only financially responsible for the $35 application fee, right? So there's another position.
That's what I heard first, but
it's okay. The team marketing spot is another position that is comped. Right? They pay their $35 in exchange for being in service to the team. So there's your 4 people. Then all teams receive an incentive. All new teams receive an incentive. The first 3 people beyond the cabinet positions, the first 3 people that decide to join, they're going to receive 2 years for the price of 1 year.
Okay.
Pretty clear?
Okay. So the comp positions of those 4 are free other than the application fee forever.
Correct. As long as the chairperson, vice chair, and team administrator and team marketing specialist, for that matter, as long as they are in service to the team, they can hold that position.
Okay.
Okay.
All right, that's better. Thank you. And and my questions, I wrote down in the chat box, and now I forgot, except for I know one of them was, okay. I wondered if there was a certain time that worked best for the team meetings, and also what types of members do you find to be the best to have on a team? And I would think that kind of is really selective on what the team, how it's being built, for what purpose.
Sure. Well, we have the two primary, I guess, prospects for 212 would be business owners and sales professionals, right? Anyone who has a list of clients. Those are the two primaries, but we also have a list that we provide everybody of the top 50 classifications within 212. So it'll give you an idea of who you might be targeting.
Okay. But there's only one type of, like, one realtor, one
Oh yes,
builder,
it is classification
whatever.
exclusive.
Okay.
Correct.
Thank you.
There's
And the time?
Oh yeah, sorry, Kathy, you keep on going.
I just said, in the time that you found is best to hold these
most
meetings?
teams are morning teams, Monday through Friday. It's interesting over the years how it's evolved, but it used to be like nobody wanted Mondays. Now Mondays is pretty popular. It used to be nobody really liked Fridays because some people would punch out early on a Friday, but now Fridays is very popular. We have a few teams that meet at 11 o'clock. We used to have one that met at 4 o'clock. They didn't like that, so they left it. But you can do your team whenever you want.
Yeah, I just wondered if there was something that has proven to be a better time for people in general. That's
in my
all.
opinion, it is Tuesday, Wednesday, or Thursday from 8 or 8:30 or 9. And like I said, this is a 1 hour meeting, so it goes quickly. It's a 1 hour commitment per week.
Okay.
When I was doing networking also, I found that if my group was full of contractors, it was an early group. It was flat out an early group. And
yeah, well, I
really
think most people feel that it doesn't disrupt your day. If you knock it out early in the morning, it's not going to interrupt any parts of your day that are important. So I kind of feel that way too, but I think everybody has that freedom to select what they want.
That was my guess, but I wanted to be sure.
Yeah.
Yep.
Exactly.
And I wanted to verify also that there is nobody in any other state except Virginia. So we're like wide open right now, right? Like there's nothing but opportunity out there.
Well, I would say I'll further kind of talk about that because I think it's an interesting point. Here's just the way I feel about it, honestly, is that I don't care about being the biggest. I want to be the most effective. I want to put the most money in people's pocket. That's what we're here for. So I'm not interested in being the biggest. I am interested in being the most effective. That being said, and we are growing very quickly. Here's my thing. We constantly need to be reinforcing our infrastructure, right? So to me, that is tremendous opportunity for other people in different areas. Like I just told you, currently we have 8 what we call area mentors for 212. We're going to have those in different states as well, ultimately. And we're going to have a regional manager for these areas. These are all compensated spots. And here's what I think is the true beauty of this. If you're a realtor or whatever you are doing, 212 and 212's responsibilities generally go from like maybe 8 in the morning to no more than 10 a.m. And then you're done, right? When I'm done with 212, I change hats and I'm Andy from Atlantic Logo Wear, what I've been doing now for 24 years. But it does not take a lot of your time. So I think that is a good selling point, but certainly some lucrative opportunities attached to that for sure. So if it interests anybody, let's just say that you started your own 212 team and you're going to get this, you're going to get people, hey, I want to start one. You're going to have like competitors come and check it out and go, well, I want to start one too. Those people in those areas that start a 212 team, they're the most likely candidates to be a multi-team supervisor or what we call an area mentor, which is I think it's just a great side hustle at minimum. So I think there's that. With growth comes opportunity.
Nice. All
Any
right.
questions so far?
Yeah, what else you guys got out there? So we're on top of the hour now. Wow. We got
Nothing doing. I would
crickets.
encourage everyone to take a look at the website. It is 212referrals.com, and it is spelled out as in TWOTWELVE referrals. It's plural, referrals.com.
I'm dropping it into the chat. There we go. 212referrals.com. Okay, we're good there. All right. No questions. You must have covered all your bases well.
Well, I
Not
tried to, but I figured there'd be at least a few.
Gina, I have a question.
bring it on.
So basically, the way I understand it, it's a business networking group,
Mhm.
right? Now, I'm in Montreal, in Canada. So is there a tie-in? I mean, because also do you meet locally within each area, a city or county or province?
Yes, these are in-person meetings.
Okay, so you don't do a Zoom meeting with the group.
When we had to, we did, but
Okay.
obviously we no longer have to do that, so we don't. And here's the thing. I mean, I think Zoom certainly has a function, like right now. It certainly has a function. I think it's great transactionally, but in building relationships, it's not my favorite tool for building relationships. I think
Right.
I think you lose a lot when you're not sitting in front of somebody and seeing their facial expressions and hearing their tonality first up front. And there's an energy we all put off, right? And you can pick up that energy when you are in person, but I just don't think you can pick that energy up over the computer.
Yeah, no, I agree. Okay, so do you see any merit, like if I was to try and do this here in Montreal?
I do. That's probably a few things that we'd have to work out as far as, well, I mean, you don't speak another language by any means, but I don't know. There's probably a few little nuances that we'd probably have to hammer out, but I don't think it'd be too tough.
Okay, well, we do actually here in Montreal, Quebec, it's English and French.
Well, I guess that's true. There's a little French aspect there. You speak French?
Yeah, I do. Okay, there are a couple of business networking groups in Montreal that are very strong. So I guess it would have to be explored and to see,
Sure.
how the
Well,
marketing would.
I never like to take anything or bash the competitors, but I will say this, that BNI is the largest, obviously, and they've,
Right.
I just think it's getting a little tired, to be honest. I mean, that's why I left. I was with it for 15 years, and I just think it ran its course. And here's what I think is interesting is that the BNI was started in 1985 by Ivan Meisner. You guys probably know this already, and I've met Ivan a number of times. Good guy. But basically, it is the same program that it was in 1985. It's the same kind of thing. And the way we do business these days is so vastly different. It's so different that I just don't think it reflects what's going on in today's business community.
Wasn't there an ownership change or a restructure? Because when I did BNI 100 years ago, it was pretty cheap. I mean,
yeah, it used to be in the $500 range, and now I think it's closer to $1,000.
Yeah, it was like a grand or over last time I looked into it. I'm like, that's crazy expensive.
Well, and the same thing is, you join and you hope to get the referrals, obviously, right?
Mm-hmm.
But they don't have that revenue sharing component. So you're just joining and hoping. In 212, you're joining, hoping, and you're definitely going to get the GIs and gratitude incentives. So I think that it's a big thing. We want everybody to recoup that initial investment back as quickly as possible. Mm-hmm. We have found that when that is done, you got a happy member, and happy members pass more business for sure.
Of course, yeah.
I love it. I really also like this for the realtor. I mean, cold calling, we're getting our hands slapped left and right, and it's getting harder and harder. And direct mail, can get expensive. And I mean, there's other routes for business also, but the real estate's belly to belly, and the closer I can get belly to belly to people, the better this works. It's the same with reaching out.
At the end of the day, I think humans need other humans, quite simply.
Yeah. John, what do you got?
Good morning, Andy. Thank you so much for all the information. Very interesting. So I have a question. So Um, I've been part of quite a few networking groups, especially BNI as well, and helped start a BNI. One of the major challenges that I've experienced is that when you're part of a group that doesn't give referrals, it's like you have somebody who has a realtor already, has an insurance person already, has, and has family members or whatnot, best friends. And so I've learned that, those groups don't thrive because they're, it's like you said something, that when in your group, you guys, love each other, you guys are a community, you guys are tight, you guys become friends. And I think that's when you really start seeing you break in that wall of lack of trust. And I've experienced where you can be you can be part of a group that, just for whatever reason, we're just not getting referrals from them or whatnot. Obviously you sound like your experience in this is not, been a while, you've been in this rodeo for a long time. So what have you done? Because obviously you probably encountered that before in the past, and what have you done to kind of combat that?
Sure. I think to me, it goes right back to culture. Number one, this is our culture. One of the first things we try to do is and we encourage is to do business with as many members as possible. And here's why. You can certainly refer somebody if you're not their client. You can certainly refer to them. Hey, Bob, you need to use Steve. He does the best websites in town. Steve is the guy. Do you use him? Well, I don't use him, but you should. You can still refer somebody like that. But when somebody says, "Hey, I need somebody who can develop a website for me," oh, that's Steve. Does the best websites in town. Do you use him? Absolutely, I use him. I've used him in several projects. He's dynamic and he's blah blah blah. All this. That kind of focus, that kind of commitment to our members is everything. So that's one of the cornerstones that we do in 212 is do business with as many members as possible. Now, can you do business with all of them? No way, because we all have pre-existing loyalties. I might be married to a realtor. Of course, my referrals are going to go to my wife, right? That'd be crazy to think that. But one of the key questions that we ask people when they're joining, if we say, listen, who are some of the members that you think you could do a lot of business with or pass a lot of referrals to? Hey, who are the members that you don't think you can pass referrals to? It's perfectly acceptable to sit down. We call this a biz chat. When you sit down with somebody for a few minutes and learn more about their business, it's perfectly acceptable to say, Paul, is there any reason that you can't do business with me or send me referrals? Perfectly fine. Yeah, glad you asked that question because, my cousin, my best friend is a realtor and I send him all the, okay. Everybody has pre-existing loyalties, but here's what I have found over the years. Most people can do business with 6, 7, 8 members of the team. And that is huge, huge. Now, some have more, some have less, just depends on the makeup of the team. But I think it's unreasonable to expect that all members are going to do business with you. It's unreasonable and unrealistic.
I had the same experience, John, where I had a BNI group and to pull leads out of them. The group I started was a nightmare. And finally, I'm like, after a year, I'm like, I'm done. And we got into 20 people, but I was just, I'm done. I'm done trying to teach you over and over and over and over and over again and still not getting it.
You're there for the referrals.
Yeah, exactly. That's why we do this. Exactly.
Right.
And I've also taught that, talking to those people saying, go find your sphere, right? You're not necessarily going to give referrals to everybody in the group, but, go find your sphere, a group of people that you can bond with, that you can give, give referrals back and forth to each other. Then, that's how you're going to see success in the group. Instead of
one of the
complaining.
things that kind of jog my memory here, but one of the things that we do, the team marketing specialists, they have about four or five different things they do. One of them is each week they create a LinkedIn event and they encourage all the members of their particular team to invite from this LinkedIn event. Everybody familiar with LinkedIn, I would imagine. All teams enjoy, 2, 3, 4, 5 guests or more just from LinkedIn. Just from LinkedIn. They're just random people, random business professionals that just show up. So that is we've seen tremendous opportunities coming from that. And of course, one of the things that the team marketing specialist does is at the end of the meeting, the team marketing specialist will gather all of the guests' business cards. They'll snap a pic with their phone and they'll text it to our office. By doing that, each one of the guests receives that thank you card in the mail. So I mean, it's designed on your end, super simple to send to make sure everybody gets a thank you card. You snap a picture and text that image. Everybody receives a thank you card. It's huge, truly. I can't tell you how many people have said, I got a thank you card for visiting your team. Yeah, of course you did.
That's cool. I don't have to do the thank you card. Nice. I would ship you thank you cards and I have to do the thank you cards.
True that. I get it.
Awesome. All right. Other questions you guys have out there?
By the way, if any of you guys would like to connect with me on LinkedIn, I think that'd be beneficial. You'll see some of the 212 postings that we do, and you'll get a little feel for it.
And is that the best way to get a hold of you, by the way?
LinkedIn.
Okay. That's gotta ask. I'm gonna find your profile and I'll dump it in here. All right, you guys, what else you guys got?
Gina, Eric Reisner here. I'm a former past president and recent retiree of BNI. Left because we actually had some internal strife in our chapter between two members, and it literally split the chapter in half. And so half is in the process of leaving, but I really left because it became evident that BNI was becoming more of a focused on making money internally than really supporting the members and helping them make more money. And that became very evident when some of the higher ups in BNI infiltrated our chapter and picked a side in the internal strife. And I lost all hope in that, because I'm like, we're no longer a family. Okay, which we were a strong group. I was in this group for 10 years. And
Wow.
one of the top producing chapters, we're $1 million a year chapter, and it just, half the people are leaving now. So, and we're actively looking. So this is very opportune. I'll tell you right now.
Yeah, I'm sure that was disappointing, wasn't it?
Yeah, because I'm in a small community, and
And they're good friends, I'm sure you had on that team.
even my own personal closing attorney. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
Didn't have to be that way.
Nope.
Yeah. All right. All right, cool. Any other questions or anything out there before I let you guys get your days going?
Andy,
Yes, sir.
could you go over the attitude about bringing in other guests and so forth? How you the purpose, of course, is probably try to get more members, but how do you handle them as far as taking a guest? Somebody's there for one time, taking other referrals or taking referrals from the group. How's that handled? What's the culture around bringing in other guests?
Well, we have a pretty inclusive culture. We don't care where they come from. Here's my personal view on this: is they're all consumers. They're all consumers. Some of these consumers, they need a quote on their life insurance, or they need to have that their sidewalk power washed. Whatever it is, they're consumers. That's what my first goal is not to secure membership. My goal is to put consumers in the seats. That's what I'm looking for. I want consumers in my seats. If they see the value of 212 and want to join, I think that's great. Not my primary focus. My primary focus is let's put consumers in the seats. They're they feed our members. They constantly feed our members. Like I said earlier, you'll do business with your fellow members, no question about it, and you're going to do business with the people they introduce you to. But you will be just stunned at how much business you're going to write from your guests. So I think this is so cool. But when I walk into my 212 meeting every Tuesday morning, there's 6, 8, 10 people I have never met. To me, they're all prospects. They're all prospects. Now, good people, and we're very friendly, but this is business. This is business, right? We are business focused. We are results focused. So this concept of guest centric, being guest centric, is a very prevalent 212 mindset. In fact, when we get guests or someone who wants to join, one of the things we go over is that, listen, I invite 20, 30 people every single week. Can you do that? And they'll go, oh, yeah, absolutely. Okay. We want to set those expectations ahead of time. Like, this is part of our culture. 212 has a culture. Your team will also have a culture, and culture can be good and culture can be not so good. You can have a culture of late attendees. You can have a culture of slackers. Nobody wants that. We want a culture of professionalism, culture of integrity, culture of people doing what they say they're going to do and providing services at a high level. This is what we're looking for. And this is why it is not for everyone. And the more prevalent you make that, the more clear you make that to the guests, the better and more professional team you're going to have, and the more money everybody's going to make. I promise you.
Love it.
Thank you. Good answer. I like that.
Love it. And Dutch is actually up in Virginia also. So just FYI, it's going to be easy for him.
I'm about an hour away from Richmond in
It seems
Hartfield
like
to the
I'm
east.
so sorry.
Yeah, Kathy's from there too. So we got a couple of
Right.
Virginiaites. All right. Anyone else have any questions?
It
Or
seems like
anything
it will be really hard to not end up with people coming from the same professions that you already have people as members.
True.
Whether-
Like I
whether
said,
you-
we welcome them. And I think a lot of people are almost shocked by that. We're like, when I have my competitors show up, I'm just so nice to them and make them feel so comfortable, right?
But-
That's what we do.
But if they're duplicate, they can't join, right?
But they
They
can
can't join
start
that
their
team.
own, and then you can have referrals coming in. Well, not the referrals, the incentives coming in, which I wrote down, by the way. Off of them starting their own. I'm okay with that all day long.
Absolutely.
bring
We
me
don't want
10
anybody to feel threatened. No member should ever feel threatened by a guest competitor. Never.
Oh, well, yeah, I wasn't talking about that. I was just talking about the trying to build your own team and things like that when, anyway.
Sure, they can't do business in that team, but really why you bring them in there is that they're checking out 212, right? And then, like Gina said a minute ago, they'd probably be interested in starting their own team, which is great. And here's the thing: the more teams you have in your area, the more everybody gets to visit all of these teams and benefit from the entire network.
Yeah, I've
Right.
got
It's not just your team. You are joining a lot of people.
Yeah, so I have Chris Shaw coming on Tuesday. She couldn't make today, so she promised that she'd come on Tuesday, who's my dear friend up in Newport News, Virginia. And she has a 212 group and visits all the other groups. So I wanted you guys to have that perspective also of not just the founder and owner, but someone who's actually getting tons of business off of it and has really built her business doing this, or increased her business dramatically doing this. So Tuesday, same link, same time, same everything. Chris Shaw will be on and give you that perspective. And plus you'll love her. She's just adorable.
She's very sweet.
Really, really is. Love her.
I wanted to say thank you to everybody. If you have any questions or anything I can help you with, please don't be shy. Just connect with me on LinkedIn. All my contact information is there on LinkedIn as well.
Cool.
I just wanted to say thank you so much for presenting this to us this morning. I love that the cornerstone of the organization is on gratitude. I think it's a great place to start. And Gina, if it's not, I'm on the phone, so I can't really see too much, but if it's not on the screen already, can you just make sure we have the spelling of his name if we want to connect on
Can
LinkedIn?
you spell your name, please?
Sure. It's F as in Frank, ULGHUM as in Mary. So Andy Fulghum.
Oh,
Great.
it's
Thank you so much.
well, I've butchered your name about 18 million times. So,
That's okay. I
okay,
hear it's not the first time.
but it's not. Since I'm also Gina, Dina, Lena, Mina, Nina. So
There
whatever.
you go.
Yeah. All right. Hey, crew, thank you guys so much for showing up. John, you officially get the award for the earliest, and keep the beard. You look fabulous. And I will see you guys back on Tuesday. So another early morning for you. But I'm Andy. Thank you so much for coming. I truly appreciate it. I love what you're building. I love what you're doing. And thank you for letting our team go first with the opportunities to take this across all of our states, because I'm looking, Eric, what state are you in? Yours, I don't know. I don't remember.
I am in Connecticut.
Connecticut. John? Where are you? Giggy?
Oh, California, Northern California.
California. George, we already know you're up in Canada. I can't see the rest of the people here because I can't see the non-video participants, but I know, hang on 1 second, where else do we have opportunities? Showing non-videos.
Craig in South Carolina, Amanda in Ohio, Tara, I think she's in Florida, but I'm not positive. Anna in
Tara's in
Texas.
Florida. Yep. V Jeff, if you can talk, where are you from, V Jeff?
I'm in Ohio.
Ohio. And I think Amanda, isn't Amanda Pennsylvania?
Sorry, yep.
Whatever.
Yes, I am. I was like, oh, don't put me in Ohio. I'm not a fan of that state. Especially from Michigan, you know. No
I've been-
offense to people that live in Ohio, but
I've been thinking Ohio lately. I'm sorry.
Yep. And I know Bree was on here earlier and she's in Tennessee. So we all have massive potential with this. So Andy, I just want to thank you for letting us go first.
Thank you so much for having me. Hope you guys have a great weekend.